across that stage and did all that. That's just only the beginning.
Millions of Americans watched Richard Goodall stand beneath the bright lights of America's Got Talent stage, delivering a performance that few people expected from a middle school janitor. By the end of the season, he had done what once seemed impossible. He became the winner of America's Got Talent Season 19. His story inspired millions because it reminded people that extraordinary talent doesn't always come from famous cities, expensive music schools, or years in the spotlight. Sometimes it can be found in the quiet hallways of a public school in Indiana. But after the confetti settled, the camera stopped rolling, and the celebration came to an end, many people began asking the same question. What really happened to Richard Goodall after winning AGT? Did his life change forever, or did he quietly return to the life he had always known? Long before America learned his name, Richard Goodall lived a life that looked remarkably ordinary. Every day, he reported to work at West Vigo Middle School in Terre Haute, Indiana, where he worked as a school custodian. His responsibilities were the kind that often go unnoticed: cleaning classrooms, maintaining hallways, taking out trash, and making sure the building was ready for students each morning. It was honest work, and by all accounts, Richard approached it with dedication and humility. To his coworkers and the students who saw him every day, he wasn't a television personality or an aspiring celebrity. He was simply Mr.
Goodall, the friendly custodian who always seemed to have a smile on his face and who loved to sing whenever the opportunity arose. Music had always been part of Richard's life. Although he never built a professional music career, those around him knew he possessed an unusually powerful voice. Friends, family members, and co-workers often encouraged him to perform. But like many talented people, Richard never imagined that millions of strangers would one day hear him sing. His love for classic rock, particularly the music of Journey, became one of the defining features of his musical identity. Songs like Don't Stop Believing weren't just favorites on a playlist. They reflected the optimism and perseverance that seemed to define his own outlook on life. For years, however, that remarkable voice remained largely hidden from the world, heard only by people fortunate enough to cross paths with him in everyday life. Everything began to change when a video of Richard singing was shared online. Unlike many viral moments that rely on shock value or controversy, this video spread because people were genuinely moved by what they heard. Here was a man who spent his days cleaning school hallways, yet sang with the confidence, emotion, and control of someone who belonged on a concert stage. The contrast captured people's attention immediately. Millions watched the clip, not because it featured elaborate production or flashy effects, but because it felt authentic. Viewers saw someone whose talent had existed for years without recognition, and they couldn't help but wonder how such an incredible voice had remained undiscovered for so long. That unexpected wave of online attention opened a door Richard had never expected to walk through. Encouraged by the overwhelming support he received, he decided to audition for America's Got Talent. For many contestants, appearing on AGT is the culmination of years spent pursuing a career in entertainment. Richard's journey was different. He didn't arrive with a management team, a recording contract, or years of professional performances behind him. Instead, he carried with him decades of life experience, countless hours of hard work, and a quiet determination that resonated with audiences almost immediately. When he stepped onto the AGT stage, viewers weren't just looking at another contestant. They were watching someone who represented millions of hardworking people whose dreams had been placed on hold by the responsibilities of everyday life. His audition quickly became one of the defining moments of the season. Performing Journey's iconic anthem, Don't Stop Believing, Richard delivered a performance that felt deeply personal. The song itself carried a message of hope and perseverance, making it a fitting soundtrack for someone whose biggest opportunity had arrived later in life than anyone expected.
As he sang, the audience responded with overwhelming enthusiasm, rising to their feet before he had even finished. The judges were visibly moved, not only by the quality of his voice, but by the sincerity of his performance. Richard wasn't trying to imitate anyone or present himself as something he wasn't. He stood on that stage exactly as he had lived his life, humble, genuine, and grateful for the opportunity before him. That authenticity became one of the defining reasons audiences connected with him throughout the competition. Week after week, Richard continued proving that his audition had not been a lucky moment or a one-time surprise. He consistently delivered heartfelt performances that showcased both his vocal ability and his emotional connection to the music. While other contestants impressed viewers with elaborate staging or technical precision, Richard often captivated audiences through sincerity alone. His performances reminded people that great entertainment isn't always about perfection. Sometimes it's about making listeners believe every word being sung. As the competition progressed, millions of viewers began rooting not only for his success, but for the story he represented. A reminder that meaningful dreams don't always have an expiration date. As the competition moved into its later rounds, Richard Goodall found himself in a position that few people could have predicted just months earlier.
The same man who had spent years quietly maintaining school hallways was now performing in front of a national television audience. Each appearance brought new expectations. His first audition had captured America's attention, but staying in the competition required more than one memorable moment. Week after week, viewers watched to see whether Richard could continue delivering performances that matched the emotion of his unforgettable debut. Rather than trying to reinvent himself or chase flashy stage productions, he remained consistent. His focus stayed on the music, allowing his voice and genuine personality to carry each performance. That decision seemed to resonate with audiences who valued authenticity as much as vocal talent. Throughout the season, many fans described Richard as someone they could relate to. Unlike performers who had spent their entire lives pursuing fame, Richard represented people who had worked ordinary jobs, supported their families, and quietly set personal dreams aside while meeting everyday responsibilities. His journey reminded viewers that talent does not disappear simply because it goes unnoticed. In many ways, Richard became more than a contestant. He became a symbol of second chances. His story encouraged people who believed they had missed their opportunity, proving that recognition can arrive when it is least expected. By the time the competition reached its finale, Richard had earned one of the strongest fan followings of the season.
Millions of viewers had invested emotionally in his journey, and social media was filled with messages of encouragement from people across the country. When the final results were announced and Richard Goodall was crowned the winner of America's Got Talent Season 19, the celebration extended far beyond the theater. Supporters who had followed his journey from the beginning celebrated alongside him, seeing his victory as more than the outcome of a television competition. For many, it felt like a victory for perseverance, humility, and the idea that extraordinary talent can exist in ordinary places. Winning America's Got Talent is often described as the beginning of a new chapter, rather than the end of a competition. Along with the championship title came a substantial prize and opportunities that few performers ever experience. Richard was suddenly introduced to a level of public attention that differed dramatically from the quiet routine he had known for years. Media organizations wanted interviews, fans wanted photographs and messages, event organizers expressed interest in inviting him to perform. The transition from school custodian to nationally recognized singer happened in an incredibly short period of time, bringing both exciting opportunities and significant adjustments. One of the most noticeable changes after the show was the number of public appearances Richard began making. Instead of spending every day following the same familiar routine at school, he found himself traveling to performances, participating in interviews, and meeting supporters who had been inspired by his story. For someone who had spent much of his life outside the entertainment industry, adapting to this new environment undoubtedly required flexibility. Yet in every public appearance, Richard continued presenting himself in much the same way audiences had first met him, soft-spoken, appreciative, and genuinely thankful for the support he had received. Despite his growing popularity, one quality appeared to remain unchanged: his humility. In interviews following his victory, Richard frequently expressed gratitude toward the people who had supported him throughout his journey. He acknowledged the encouragement of coworkers, friends, family members, and fans who believed in him before and during the competition. Rather than portraying himself as someone who had suddenly become a superstar, he often emphasized how fortunate he felt to have been given an opportunity that many talented people never receive. That attitude further strengthened the connection many supporters felt toward him, reinforcing the authenticity that had defined his entire AGT experience. Another important aspect of Richard's post-AGT journey was the continued attention surrounding his story itself.
While vocal ability certainly played a major role in his success, many commentators pointed out that his appeal extended beyond music. His background as a longtime school custodian resonated with people because it reflected the experiences of countless workers whose contributions often go unnoticed. His success served as a reminder that dignity exists in every profession, and that extraordinary ability can be found in places society sometimes overlooks. In that sense, Richard's story became larger than a talent competition. It became a conversation about recognizing potential wherever it exists. Of course, life after winning a nationally televised competition is rarely as simple as it appears from the outside. Public recognition brings new expectations. Every performance is compared with previous ones. Every interview is examined by fans. Maintaining a successful career in music requires consistent effort, careful decision-making, and the willingness to adapt to opportunities as they arise. Like many AGT winners before him, Richard entered a world where talent alone is only one part of building a lasting career. Scheduling performances, connecting with audiences, and making thoughtful professional choices all become important pieces of life after the show. Even so, Richard's greatest achievement may not be measured solely by concerts or public appearances. Perhaps his most lasting impact lies in the inspiration his journey continues to provide.
His story reminds people that pursuing a dream does not have to follow a perfect timeline. Many individuals assume that if success has not arrived by a certain age, the opportunity has passed forever. Richard's experience challenges that assumption. His breakthrough came after years of living an ordinary life, showing that meaningful opportunities can emerge long after most people believe their chance has disappeared.